went back went over there and hung
Or
out.
All right, welcome back into our third game here today in the North Carolina qualifier for Travel Ball National Championship, powered by Nations Baseball and TravelSelect.com, the most competitive youth baseball in America. It's Lake Norman against the Carolina Colts in Game 3. Lake Norman, the visitor. They will bat first, and it's Brian Blanton at the plate right now, and it's a 2-1 count now as ball 2 skips wide. On the mound for Carolina, it is number.
Carolina's got a very interesting color scheme. You see a lot of times you'll see a team wearing gray pants and maybe a green top, and by golly, they've got a gray top with green pants.
And it's Cody Kidd on the mound for the Colts.
The Carolina Colts.
And a pop fly, right side of the infield. Second baseman's got a beat on it. He
makes a nice play.
Does make a nice play.
Blanton was the leadoff hitter last game as well. Now I had to go do some other duties. How'd that last game end up?
The Carolina Reds ended up winning 12-3 there.
They got hot. They really got hot. You could see it. They've got some good physical kids. They're 2-0. They're looking pretty good to make the playoffs.
And now at the plate, Cannon Frady. Frady watches ball 1 sail high. And Cody Kidd now set to deliver the 1-0 pitch. Swung on, bouncer to the second baseman off his glove and into center field. And I'm going to give Frady a single on that one.
I'd give him a single too. It's a normal effort, regular effort, whatever you want to call that. As far as, and that would have been a tough play.
And now Kidd comes set. Time called at the plate. It's Zachary Ladowski in the 3-hole now.
The
big Lake Norman.
The big Ladowski, right? As we said earlier.
Yeah, that's ball 1 high.
They've got some nice winter digital camos working today. They're going to play a doubleheader and go do some hunting. I honest to goodness have that same shirt at home as a workout shirt. I really do.
And that ball gets away from the catcher. That'll be scored as a wild pitch, and that allows Frady to advance to second base. Swung on, foul back.
Interestingly enough, the catcher was setting up for something inside. Normally, if it's inside, it's normally going to be a fastball. That looked like kind of a roundhouse breaking ball. I don't think that's what he wanted. We've got about a 30-mile-an-hour wind out here, don't we, Drew?
And I'm trying to organize all of my materials because of that wind, and it just makes it just a little bit harder, but hey, at least it's not snowing, right?
You have to adapt and improvise, as Clint Eastwood said on Hamburger Hill.
2-2 count now on Ladowski. And a pickoff attempt at second, runner back safely. Frady just does get a hand in there.
And I would venture to say if the pitcher turned glove side and spun, it'd have been a lot quicker. He actually turned the wrong way. Just a little thing, but a little thing could be an out or a safety.
And that ball gets away, and a good job by Ladowski pointing to third. Let the base runner Frady know that ball did in fact get away. And you can advance. I'm going to give that another wild pitch, as it was just a little bit wide of the target. Hard for the catcher back there, Brady Parker, to get to that one all the way into the left-handed batter's box. Swung on, driven over the second baseman's head into the gap. That's going to fall in for a hit, and Frady will score thanks to an RBI single by Zach Ladowski. So quickly, Lake Norman on top, just like they were in their first game today. They got out to a lead, but could not hold it. And now the big fella, Chance Carroll, the first baseman for Lake Norman, is at the plate with a runner on first and one out. Runner goes. Not sure what they're going to give Carroll there.
Looks like a check swing. He didn't come up with a right hand, meaning a strike.
So that's a ball one.
Kind of a strange little play there.
That was. Got away from the catcher, allowed the runner to advance. Ladowski now on second. I'm going to call that a pass ball. Hit the mitt, bounced off. Now through the middle. Shortstop can't come up with it cleanly.
Backdoor throw.
They try to get him, throw it behind the runner at third. It's over the head, and Ladowski scores the second run of the game for Lake Norman.
That's a big run right there. You don't want to compound an error with another error and make a force. Just
That's what the shortstop did.
Right. You just want to minimize those things.
And an E6 allows Carroll to reach base safely. Now 2-0 Lake Norman. Just as in the first game, scored 2 in the first. And Joseph Gaither, who will head to the bump for Lake Norman when they go out in the bottom half of the inning as the pitcher.
That's a tough one for the shortstop on that play. In reality, that was 2 errors because it allowed the guy to get on first and then a throw to third. He's a good ball player. It's just one of those tough things. Shortstop is the most mental position on the field. It's the only position I know that you can really go into a slump, per se, on the defense. So many things going on at shortstop.
And Carroll advances to second on the pass ball. And now Kidd comes set. Still nobody. Actually, 1 out here in the first. That's a strike. So Gaither now in a 1-2 hole. Drew Hinesley, Rob Bruno here with the call on a very chilly afternoon in Rock Hill, South Carolina. And that's a fly ball to center field, backing up. He's under it, he's got it, 2 down in the inning. And now Carson Arnold comes to the plate. Carson, the pitcher for Lake Norman. The last time we saw them, he'll be playing third base in this ball game.
Did a good job throwing.
Watches that one, low and away, ball 1. picking up once again out here. Been steady all day long. No break from it. Hopefully it's been forecasted that this wind will end in the next hour to hour and a half. And hopefully we can have a somewhat pleasant afternoon.
Well, Drew, the weather forecasters are always right, so sure. They came up with a heads call on the coin.
And that one laced
Right
down the right field line, and that's going to allow Chance Carroll to score from second. And Carson Arnold with an RBI single. And now it's 3-0. Lake Norman already scored more runs in 2/3 of an inning than they scored in an entire game earlier today.
Well, they're not quite facing the same pitching.
And now a strike call. Runner goes. He's in safely at second. So Jacob DaCosta, the center fielder for Lake Norman, now in an 0-1 hole. But he's got a runner out in scoring position in Chase Arnold.
Here comes a fastball.
And that catches the corner. And now DaCosta in an 0-2 hole.
You would hope the catcher at a 12-year-old level would be giving a little bit of a series of signs behind the dish, just in case that runner at second base. I think it's a breaking ball. Let's see.
And pick off to second. They've got the runner in a rundown. And the throw in time. Third base coach thought the foot bounced over the glove, but the umpire did not see it that way. And they get Carson Arnold. And DaCosta will come up to lead off the second inning with a fresh count. But we head to the bottom of the first. It's Lake Norman 3, the Carolina Colts 0. And welcome back. Bottom half of inning number 1 here. Game number 3 in this North Carolina qualifier for the Travel Ball National Championship, powered by Nations Baseball, and TravelSelect.com, the most competitive youth baseball in America. Riley Honeycutt at the plate leading things off for the Carolina Colts. And it's a 1-1 count now to Riley. Riley a little bit shorter than some of the other guys out here, but I'm sure he has some speed. That's why he's in that 1 hole. We may see if he gets on base here, but he swings through a curveball. In a 1-2 hole now. The line Again, the pitch swung on, hit the short, and the shortstop got wrong-footed, as we were talking about earlier in the broadcast, or goofy-footed, you may say, and off his glove. But I'm going to give Riley a base hit there. That was a hard hit ball. And
Drew, you're a generous man.
I'm going to give Riley a hit, so it gives him a chance to.
You're not related to Riley, are you?
I'm not related to Riley, but he hit it hard, and here he goes on the first pitch, outside ball one, and Riley's in there safely.
You said he might have speed, and he's got some speed.
Reminds me of somebody else I once knew in the leadoff spot.
Yourself?
Yes, sir. Put me on, it's as good as a triple. And sometimes a home run if the pitcher was lazy enough. And now this one chopped by Brady Parker over to the second baseman. Easy play over to first, but that allows Honeycutt to advance over to third.
Now, Drew, conversely, I could turn triples into doubles. and could score from second on a triple.
And I've played with a lot of guys just like you. And you can watch this ball game on TravelBallSelect.com. And we want to thank you for tuning in to TravelBallSelect.com and watching this today. Your premium source for the most competitive youth baseball in America. Wild pitch gets away, and Honeycutt's going to score. Again, reminds me of somebody else I once knew right there. Instant offense as soon as he gets on base.
That you knew intimately.
I did. 1-0. Excuse me.
3-1?
3-1 now. We're in the bottom of the first, not the top of the first.
That was right there what we would call, if you're an Oakland A's fan, a Ricky rally. Ricky Henderson.
And now Leighton Burleson chops one over to the third base dugout. Leighton, the shortstop for the Carolina Colts.
Had the pleasure of watching Ricky play for a lot of years, and he was pretty special.
Ricky was one of the guys I looked to when I was growing up. He was always on the cover of Sports Illustrated, whether he was in a Yankees uniform or an A's uniform. And
Run, Ricky, run.
Absolutely. That's the cover of Sports Illustrated that I still have in my house. And Leighton Burleson coaxes a walk.
Now, I got the pleasure of playing against Ricky when I was 8 years old. He was 9 years old in Citizens Police League in Oakland, where I grew up. I was every bit as good as him at that point, and about 6 months later, he passed me right up and never looked back. He was kind of a short, round guy who could really run then. Was recruited to University of Texas as a tailback. Now, he played with another guy named Lloyd Mosby on that Citizens Police League team, who became a 1-1, we call, first pick of the draft in 1978.
In baseball.
In baseball. Lloyd Mosby played for the Toronto Blue Jays, among other teams, and very gifted outfielder, played for years in the big leagues. And Ricky was a second, third, fourth round guy, actually, 1976. Interesting thing about Ricky's birthday is December 25th, on Christmas.
There you go.
Very young for his grade. He graduated, he came into school very young, graduated at 17. Started playing pro ball at 17 years old. Incredible baseball IQ. Could read pitchers like nobody's business.
One of the youngest to start playing professional baseball, and one of the older guys to retire.
And he didn't want to retire.
No, he didn't.
Ricky would have played till he was 55, and Ricky looks like he could play right now in the big leagues.
Well, Colton Austin, one day hoping to be a big leaguer, at the plate right now, watches a strike on the outside corner. Second strike of the at-bat for Colton. Big lefty at the plate.
He's a big lefty.
Lays that bat right on that shoulder. Probably trying to produce a little bit of a flatter swing and not an uppercut by holding that bat in the air, don't you think?
Possibly, yeah. It also just relaxes you a little bit sometimes. Okay. I don't mind a little bit of a lift. You know, Ted Williams always said to swing slightly up, not a big uppercut per se, but you want to kind of match the path of ball flight. Ball flight's coming slightly down. If you go slightly up, you're matching the path of the ball flight, which is really squaring it up properly, not a big uppercut.
Good swing there by Austin, fouled back.
I've always found that these guys say hit the top part of the ball. Well, you're going to create a ground ball with hitting the ball to 4 guys in a small space. I'd rather hit the ball to 3 guys in a big space in the outfield. Call me crazy.
One of my favorite Ted Williams stories as Austin swings and drives this one to
that
deep
ball
center
long
field,
way.
and that one's back. That one's gone, folks. That's a 2-run homer. This game's tied at 3. And Colton Austin really went down and got that one and drove it.
Colton has got a very sweet swing. Right off the bat, being a left-hander, he's already ahead of the game. I told this story last time we were at a qualifier, but I was fortunate enough to have, in the 2008 draft, 5 of the first 50 picks of the draft came from our program. 3 of them were first-rounders. All 3 were left-handed hitters, so they are at a premium.
Yes, they are. And now the pitcher for the Carolina Colts, Cody Kidd, coming to the plate. And now it's a tie ball game. So Cody gave up 3 in the first, but his offense has bailed him out. Let's see if he can help himself here at the plate and then go out and settle down and maybe lock him down in the second inning. But my favorite Ted Williams story, a bunch of reporters approached him one day and they said, Ted, with today's dilution of pitching with all the expansion teams, what do you think you would hit? Ted said, I don't know, probably about 280, 285. And they said, but Ted, you were a career 380 hitter. He said, yeah, but I'm 72.
Absolutely.
So I always thought that was a good one.
The other story about Ted Williams that I always liked was when he was up, there were about 3 balls right in the middle of the plate, and he didn't swing at any of them. The catcher says, well, what's going on? He says, if Mr. Williams thinks that's a ball, it's a ball.
And that's a strikeout there. Cody Kidd caught looking there.
That's a good baseball name, isn't it? Cody Kidd.
Cody Kidd. And now Harrison Montgomery. I don't know if that's quite the same baseball name, but he's at the plate.
Could be a country rock star right there.
He's the right fielder for the Carolina Colts, and that one down and in the dirt. Ball 1.
He might have a option down the line to be a country guy with that voice. You know, that name, it's perfect.
And out a little wide, ball 2.
Not a lot of country music in California, unfortunately. That's why I have satellite radio. There's only 2 kinds of music, right? Country and Western.
There's some folks around these parts that might take a little bit of offense to that.
Well, that's all I listen to. I'm okay with it.
And that one catches the inside corner. That evens the count. 2 apiece. 2 down here in the bottom half of the first inning. Game tied at 3 thanks to a Colton Austin 2-run shot to center field. And Harrison Montgomery caught looking to end the inning.
He painted that outside corner for that 3rd strike.
3 runs on 2 hits for the Colts. We're all tied up at 3. We head to the second inning here after a short break.
They're made. Swing Away makes them.
Hi, I'm Bryce Harper. If you want to be a better hitter, all you have to do is swing away.
Now, all baseball players and softball players can train like the pros. Hit anywhere, anytime, inside or out. Players of all ages and skill levels can get serious and immediate results with the Swing Away.
Swing away will make you a better hitter, period.
You're just a swing away from becoming a great hitter at swingaway.com.
And welcome back to the North Carolina qualifier for the Travel Ball National Championship, powered by Nations Baseball and TravelBallSelect.com, the most competitive youth baseball in America. Everybody's laughing at me. I don't know what I've been saying wrong, but I know that now I'm getting it right. Everybody's happy. TravelBallSelect.com, your premier site for the most competitive youth baseball in the U.S.
We never laugh at you, we laugh with you.
Well, then how come you are the only two laughing in the booth?
It's one of those inside jokes.
Gotcha. Maybe you'll let me in soon. All right. That's high for a ball to Jacob DaCosta, who gets a fresh count after his teammate Carson Arnold was picked off to end the top half of the first. He swings and drives this one to left center field. That's going to get by everybody all the way to the fence. He turns, rounds first, cruises into second with a stand-up double.
Wait on it, Mike. Wait on it, drive it.
And now Matthew White comes to the plate. Matthew, the catcher, this ball game for Lake Norman. Game tied at 3. Just got underway here in the second inning. And White whiffs right through a bunt attempt for a strike. And good base running out there at second by DaCosta not to get caught in no man's land. I always found it difficult once if you were at second, you saw a guy bunt, you saw the ball coming down the middle, you would just assume your teammate would catch it with the bat, put it in play, and you were already moving to third. But this time, he swings it, gets to the second baseman. Good job of retreating by the first baseman, Colton Austin, to get the force out there of Matthew White.
Hitting on your point, you always want to anticipate seeing the ball down. Now, at that last play, the guy did a nice job, though, hitting the ball to the right side. He wanted to get the runner over. He did his job. Now we've got a go-ahead run at third base with only one out, and they're in a good situation here.
Dylan Seaman at the plate. Dylan, the second baseman, the bunt foul.
So they're playing for one run here.
That one run would give them the lead. All tied up at 3. Both teams getting on the board in the first. A little bit different ways of going about it, but it counts the same no matter what. A swing and off the end of the bat, ground ball to second base. Out at first, but Seaman gets the job done. 2-4-3 putouts after a leadoff double.
And
equal a run.
That's exactly what you want out of the bottom of your order. A good, productive out. He did a great job hitting the ball up the middle. Perfect job. They've really executed nicely this inning. Doing a very good job.
And that gives Lake Norman a 4-3 lead. Swung on, popped up to center field. Honeycutt camps out underneath it. He's got it. It's a quick inning, but not before Lake Norman can retake the lead thanks to a Jacob DaCosta leadoff double. We head to the bottom of the second where the Carolina Colts have the 7, 8, and 9 batters coming up.
Get, and it may be even more. Baseball is hard enough the way it is, but I find that some of the biggest robbers of confidence in young players is their parents and coaches. So go to Play Big Travel Ball right now and get my free report. 3 hidden mistakes even top travel ball coaches make that crush player confidence and turn wins into losses. And I'll give you the fixes for them as well. So go get my free report at playbigtravelball.com.
Now the bottom of the second inning begins with a ball one in the dirt to Cody Naylor, the third baseman for the Carolina Colts. Drew Hinesley, Rob Bruno here on the call for you. And another bouncer in the dirt. Gets by the backstop, to the backstop. So a 2-0 count to Naylor. Strike one, right down the middle. Bruno a little quiet as he's enjoying his lunch. He's been running around like a madman, trying to conduct about 4 different jobs all at the same time today. So we'll give him a little break while he eats some chicken breast.
Got a little chicken breast. Got to get my 50 grams of protein in right here, Drew.
Looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm getting mine through the cheeseburger route today. And a bouncer to short by Naylor. Good throw, gets him by a step. 1 out in the inning.
Your cheeseburger is my chicken breast.
Probably react a little bit differently with our bodies. Now the Colts second baseman, Garrett Manor, now steps into the box on the right side. Strike on the outside corner. 0-1. Curveball misses just a little high.
Big roundhouse breaking ball there.
Starts out maybe a little bit too much on the side. Need to get on top of that a little more, if you think.
No doubt.
And that one right on the outside corner.
Yeah, they're stretching that outside corner. And if they're going to call it, why not keep throwing it there?
And Jacob Gaither understanding where the strike zone is and pitching to it. Another grounder to short, another scoop, another throw. Good job by the first baseman coming off the bag there for Chance Carroll, making a catch, quick tag for the 6-3 putout, out number 2. That brings up left fielder Andrew Long. Big fella steps into that right-handed batter's box.
Drew, we've referenced the Atlanta Braves a lot today for good reason. First of all, we're very familiar with them, but second of all, they were just some great pitchers. There's a guy that made a Hall of Fame career on living on the outside half and stretching out 1 ball, 2 balls, 3 balls away, named Mr. Tom Glavine. He will be going into the Hall of Fame this year.
He will be. Ground ball, great backhand stop at second base to retire the side. Quick 1-2-3 inning for the Carolina Colts. We head to the third, and Lake Norman leads it 4-3. Top of the third here in game number 3 today in the North Carolina qualifier for the Travel Ball National Championship, powered by Nations Baseball and TravelBallSelect.com, the most competitive youth baseball in America. Ball 1 for the leadoff batter, Keenan Cannon Frady. That's ball number 2 in the dirt. And Bruno, you mentioned Tom Glavine before we went to break, and I had a chance to spend some time on a golf course with Tom Glavine back in September in Atlanta. And Tom has a set of golf balls that a very good friend of his, very close friend of his, had specially made for him and monogrammed for Tom. And over on the side it says Tom Glavine, 203 career losses. So Tom says, nothing like your buddies to keep you grounded. As Frady fouls back, strike number 2, 2-2 count now.
Oh, that's beautiful.
On the Lake Norman shortstop.
That's beautiful.
So Tom has those golf balls that he plays with just about every round, and but he said it also makes him a very good golfer because you don't just want to lose those and leave those laying around for too many people to come across.
You got to pitch a
Swing
long
and a miss,
time.
strike 3.
You got to pitch a long time to get 200 losses.
Yes, you do.
Because if you get them too quickly, you're not around.
Yeah, to compile that many losses, you have to also marry that with a lot of wins.
Some of the greatest hitters of all time are some of the best strikeout guys of all time. Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle.
Babe Ruth hit 714 home runs in his career. He had 1,428 strikeouts, exactly 2 strikeouts for
2 to 1 ratio.
Every one home
Wow.
run he hit.
Unbelievable.
Now Zachary Ladowski at the plate, hoping to get a little closer to Babe Ruth's totals with a homer right here, not a strikeout.
Moving inside.
And they jammed him in there, fouled back.
You know, I really commend the pitcher and catcher working, and the coach is probably calling to work more inside. Most guys this age are always away, and I like this. It opens up your away when you can take that inside away a little bit.
And I also believe by pitching inside, it gives
Good
kids
pitch.
confidence with a curveball there that was not as far inside as the batter behaved. By pitching inside and getting the ball past a hitter on a somewhat regular basis, it teaches you not to avoid pitching to contact.
That's right. That's right.
You know, pitching to contact's not a bad thing. You got 7 guys behind you with gloves for a reason.
That's right. We always say on or off in 3. We want they could be on base, but we want them off the base within 3 pitches, and that's a nice ratio. And pitching to contact's a good thing. And bringing up Babe Ruth, we always say, hey, listen, guys, Babe Ruth is dead. Don't worry about this guy up. He's not Babe Ruth.
Well, and you saw right there how effective that was working inside. When he did go outside, he had buried it inside so much the guy wasn't out on his toes covering the
That's
plate,
right.
and it was off the end of the bat and easy out at first base.
He moved his feet, and that goes a long way.
Now Chance Carroll at the plate. Chance reached on an error by the shortstop as that one misses inside in his first at-bat in the first inning. Advanced to second on a pass ball and then scored on a Carson Arnold RBI single.
Coming inside again.
And that
Interestingly
one down in
enough,
the dirt.
you know, he's setting up inside, but calling a breaking ball. I prefer just set up where the ball's going to be, instead of giving him a target to throw to, per se, where to start the ball. I want it where it's going to end. Pitcher's got to be able to make that adjustment.
Is that something the pitchers and catchers should discuss between themselves? Do you know which target do you want, the starting point or finishing point?
The reality is it's not even a discussion. The catcher should be lining up where he wants the ball to end.
Okay. 2-2 count now on a check swing by Carroll.
What the pitcher does is find a spot, whether it could be the hitter's front hip, something, maybe the left shoulder of the catcher, you know, that type of thing.
That's what I always did.
Right. That's a good pitch.
And that's a good pitch on the inside corner. Gets Carroll looking.
Painting the inside.
And that's a 1-2-3 inning for the Colts. Lake Norman goes down in order, but they still have a lead 4-3 as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Sports Illustrated's chosen one, TravelBallSelect.com, had already chosen 11-year-old Bryce Harper as an All-American. Go to the source for travel baseball national rankings and All-America teams, TravelBallSelect.com.
Top of the fourth now in the North Carolina qualifier for the Travel Ball National Championship, powered by Nations Baseball and TravelBallSelect.com, the most competitive youth baseball in America. Strike called to Cody Naylor. And that's going to hit him. Excuse me, that's Dalton Havner. So Havner advances after being hit by a pitch. So he's on first, and now at the plate, number 22, Avery Harrington. Harrington lays down a bunt. Catcher throws him out at first, but Havner advances to second. And now the top of the order for the Colts, and Riley Honeycutt, my favorite player on the diamond right now.
The speedy Honeycutt.
Speedy, resourceful, smart Honeycutt. This one in the dirt, back right in front of my nose. And Havner easily trots over to third base.
This is a guy who handles the bat pretty darn well. Would not surprise me maybe if he pushed a butt down the first baseline for maybe a safety squeeze.
Watches that one on the inside corner for a strike. 1-1 count. Ten-pitch inning for Lake Norman. And they got him at third. Havner ventured a little too far down the line. And a 2-5 putout clears the base paths. So now Honeycutt, the leadoff guy, with your speed that you'd like to exploit and give a chance for those big bats behind him to take advantage. Now they have to do it all with 2 outs. And this curveball had Honeycutt ducking. That ball came back in a little closer to the inside corner than Honeycutt first thought it would.
That was a heck of a throw by the catcher. It was preconceived call by the coach there. That was just a nice job. He was leaning. Good strike. Yes, sir. They're in the groove right now.
And that's it. Honeycutt caught looking. And that retires the side. Another quick inning for Lake Norman. And they will come to bat in the bottom of the third inning. In the top of the fourth with a 4-3 lead. You're watching the most competitive youth baseball in America on TravelBallSelect.com. Top of the fourth here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Game number 3, North Carolina qualifier. And ball one inside to the Lake Norman pitcher, Joseph Gaither.
Drew, it could be a little bit confusing. We're talking about the North Carolina qualifier. We're in Rock Hill, South Carolina. How many miles away are we from the border?
10.
Yeah, we're right there. I'll hit hard.
And that's driven deep center field. Great extension from Joseph Gaither, and it's a home run. So a solo shot to start the fourth.
I think Joseph's done this before. He's got his home run trot down.
And it's now a 5-3 Lake Norman lead. And yeah, Joseph leaps onto the plate. Pass on the helmets from the teammate.
Just don't do a Kendry Morales.
Blow that knee out, right?
Oh my gosh. Kendry probably had about 20 extra pounds on it at that time. Probably didn't help him either.
Yeah, that'll always be on that not top 10 of celebrations gone wrong, along with the Milton Bradley explosion at first base where he blew out a knee. And
don't try that at home.
No.
Yes.
Or what not to do when you do something after you do something right.
Yep.
And now,
they're hitting the
all
ball
of a
hard
sudden,
right
Lake
now.
Norman's dialed in. That one ripped to left field. Carson Arnold.
The big fella there hit that ball hard.
2 consecutive pitches that have been laced by Lake Norman.
Wouldn't surprise me if you see a little breaking ball right now. I don't think, a pitcher starts seeing fastballs hit like that, they start going off speed a little bit.
Well, you got Jacob DaCosta at the plate, who doubled last time and scored in the second inning.
Doesn't get any easier.
And that was kind of a floater down the middle. Hard to tell exactly what that was. Get the force out at second. DaCosta too fast for them to try to turn 2. But Arnold retired 6-4 for the first out of the inning. DaCosta obviously reaches on a fielder's choice.
Get on it and drive it.
And now at the plate, Matthew White, who was retired 4-3 but did advance DaCosta in that second inning that allowed him to get to third, and then the next batter was able to drive him in. So some good hitting by White. Good situational hitting by White. Now let's see if he can do something with a runner on first. Maybe get called for a hit and run and put it in play.
We talked about that earlier, and they really executed nicely.
And a bunt popped down the third base line, spins well foul. Now the umpire asking for some new balls. This red clay out here on this field has been scuffing up these balls and discoloring them a little bit today. A lot of weather in the area the last couple of days. If you're anywhere in the southeast watching this today on travelballselect.com, you know that. You're experiencing that weather with us. Strike on the inside corner. And it's a 1-2 count on White. One down in the top of the fourth inning. And Lake Norman now with a 5-3 lead. Swung on, another good job of hitting by White. Slaps it to right. And he's aboard, and he moves the runner to second. And that brings up Dylan Seaman, the Lake Norman second baseman. So 3 hits in the inning now for Lake Norman from the bottom half of the order. Anytime the bottom half gets it going, it always seems to energize the top half a little bit. Makes them think, well, if those guys that are hitting behind us are lacing it, we should be better hitters. We should come up and knock the cover off of it too. We'll see if it translates as we'll turn the order over here after Seaman's at bat. And now pickoff attempt at second. DaCosta back safely.
Again, if he spun the other way, it's just a lot quicker. The only reason why you should go with that inside move is on a lift, and it's more of a deception type of play. But if you want to really pick a guy up, you do a glove side spin.
And a bunt. That ball is a fair ball. That's, I'm going to say, because he picked it up on the plate, it's a foul ball. And the bat was laid down as well.
On the plate is a fair ball.
I think because it hit the bat, it made it a dead ball.
That's not a dead ball. Not a dead ball. That's live ball.
Should be.
We still should be running right now.
I agree. Should have been either an out because the batter interfered with it.
Well, actually, no. That's just a live ball. That's part of the game at that point.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Even if it hits the bat, it's still live, and it's just one of those things.
Now this one swung on. This one is live. Third baseman comes up with it, but kind of in a spot where he couldn't do anything with it. Then he throws it away. That's one of those you just put it in your pocket, walk it to the mound, and don't force any other issues.
Minimize.
So we're going to give Seaman
Got to give him a hit.
Got to give him a hit there. Runners advance. Everybody's safe. Bases loaded now. Only one out here in the top of the fourth for Lake Norman. And now it's Brian Blanton at the plate.
Leadoff guy.
Popped up twice. I always had a little bit of pole running to do. If in the leadoff spot I had more than one or two pop-ups in a ball game or in a outing. Shortstop to second for one. Can't get the double play, and that allows a run to score. So DaCosta crosses the plate. It's now 6-3. Lake Norman. White to third. Seaman forced out 6-4. And Blanton aboard on first base. Now at the plate, Cannon Frady. Brady singled in the first, struck out in the third. Now from the stretch, the pitch, wide, ball one. And Cody Kidd, double steal, not effective. Lake Norman thrown out at the plate. And that is Matthew White gunned down. And that will be a 6-2 putout, I believe, to end the fourth inning for Lake Norman. But not before they put a few hits together and put two more runs across the board. It's now 6-3. Lake Norman on top of Carolina. You're watching TravelBallSelect.com.
Another lefty.
Welcome back to the North Carolina qualifier for the Travel Ball National Championship, powered by Nations Baseball and TravelBallSelect.com, the most competitive youth baseball in America. And Brady Parker sees ball one skip back to the screen here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Carolina Colts tied the game in the bottom half of the first at 3 apiece, but have now watched themselves fall back behind by another 3 runs as Lake Norman continues to hit the ball well. Let's see if Carolina, with the 2-3-4 guys up, can answer that call. Parker, Burleson, and Colton Austin, who hit a 2-run homer in the first, due up here. All 3 sails wide.
3-1. That first pitch actually was a strike, I believe. So that's a 3-1 count.
3-1 count now.
Right.
Yeah, I marked it ball 3. I missed the strike. So.
That was the first one.
Fouled away, so now full count.
you've got Colton Austin, the big lefty, who hit that bomb. As we referenced earlier, he could be a country music singer with that name. That's just a great name.
We've got Harrison Montgomery and Colton Austin.
It's a duo.
Cody Kidd right in the middle of them in the lineup. Now chopper
That's
up
true.
the middle. That should get through, and it does. And the first runner is aboard here in the fourth for the Carolina Colts from North Carolina. Can be a little confusing with South and North, and we're so close to the border.
Now, if this is the NCAA March Madness, you would always root against a team as far as for betting if they had two directions. North, South Carolina, right? Isn't that the rule? If they have a two-directional school, they're never going to do well.
I don't know. Duke was my champion this year, so my bracket got torn up on day 2 of the tournament, so I don't know if I'm the guy to come to advice or the one to tell you what rules you should follow.
Well, I'm a big Coach K fan, but this was not going to be their year.
Not if the Mercer Bears had anything to do with it, and they did. Beware the Bears in March, as they say, right?
That's right.
That's a rule I'll stick to from now on. Pickoff not in time over at first base.
Much like Princeton versus UCLA in that famous game a few years ago.
Runner goes first, ball inside, and safe at second. 2 balls, no strikes to Leighton Burleson, the Colts shortstop. The wind picking up once again. Something new and different here today. Strike on the outside corner. That's been called all game so far. And if I'm a pitcher, I'm living right on that outside corner, unless my catcher calls me inside.
Now, speaking of called, I'm being called to field 2 to do some interviews.
Well, if the trend continues, we should see as soon as you leave a ton of offense.
That's right.
That's strike 2 right down the middle. Great curveball there.
I'm known as the cooler over here. So we'll check back with you in a little bit.
Bruno, great having you. We'll see you in a little bit. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Runner goes from second. He's safe at third. And Burleson goes down swinging for out number 1 in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Colts find themselves now trailing 6-3 to Lake Norman. And now ripped down the right field line, but foul. Colton Austin, the big lefty, hit a 2-run shot to center field, tailing right to left through the wind, which tells you he hit it really hard. And they just threw him one down and in, and you don't want to throw big lefties down and in pitches too often. And they learned their lesson. This one hit the outside corner for strike number 2. That's where I'd live with this guy. If he's going to beat me to left field, so be it. But I am not going to give him an opportunity to turn on one. They throw one right down the middle, and he tries to beat him down that third base line. This one foul, though. And he's holding his hands a little bit and shaking it off. That stings just a little bit on a cold day. These metal bats. Wood, there's a little bit of a give in that wood, and it doesn't hurt quite as much. If anything, the bat would splinter and it would break, and you'd get some new lumber to go to the plate with. These metal bats stay together, and it all goes right to your fingers and your knuckles. This one gets away. And I'm not real sure, with only 1 out, why the runner would stay right there at third. Maybe they didn't want to run into an out at the plate. They've been pretty aggressive on the base paths today, all these teams have. And right there, a little bit of passive behavior. Actually, is a little bit abnormal. Now the 1-2 pitch. This one wide, ball 2. And Honeycutt drifting down the line, almost tempting a throw from the Lake Norman catcher. Matthew White's keeping an eye on him down there. And this one ripped foul by Austin down the left side. 2-2 count, 1 down. Bottom 4. Colts trailing Lake Norman 6-3. Catcher standing up high, wants it high, ball inside. That runs the count full. Windy, cool, early spring day here in the north central corner of South Carolina, just south of suburban, or metropolitan Charlotte, I should say. And ball 4 doesn't quite catch the corner as it goes around the strike zone. Colton Austin heads over to first. That's not the worst thing that could happen for Lake Norman. One swing and he can make it a one-run game. The guys behind him in the lineup don't quite pose that same threat. I don't want to face that. But he out looking in the first. He now bats with one out and runners on first and third. The pick off first. Colton Austin back safely. Another pickoff throw. Once again, Austin back, no problem. Kid yet to see a pitch this at bat. Here comes the first one. It's inside, almost hit him. And Honeycutt back safely to third on the throw down. 1 ball, no strikes to Kid. 1-0 pitch, outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Thanks for tuning in on TravelBallSelect.com. Watching today's action here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. As we mentioned before, if you're in the Southeast, you experience this weather either yesterday or today, or you may later on tonight, that we're dealing with right here in the Carolinas. It is cold and the jet stream is right smack on top of us, blowing the wind, just constant breezes going up to about 30 miles an hour at times. It's coming across this field from left field foul pole to right field foul pole. And now the pitch, bunted foul. Now 2-1 count on Cody Kidd. 1 down in the bottom of the 4th inning. And it's Lake Norman 6, Carolina 3. Both teams scored 3 in the first. It's Lake Norman that's continued to put them up while Carolina stalled a little bit. Ball down and away. 3-1. A good hitter's count here for Cody Kidd. A 5-hole hitter for the Colts. And a good opportunity to get some offense. The pitch catches the outside corner. Strike 2, runs it full. Kidd was caught looking in the first inning. See if he can avoid that fate right here. Payoff pitch on the way. Outside corner. Once again, Kidd watches it sail over that corner. Only time the bat came off his shoulder was that bunt attempt. Have to get a little bit more aggressive in the 5-hole. You want some offense if you're Carolina. 2 outs now. Swung on, fouled back by Harrison Montgomery. Fourth strikeout looking for Gaither. 5 in total, excuse me. Yes, 5 in total. 4th one looking, so he's doing something up there when the batter gets 2 strikes that discourages them from swinging. This one high, ball 1. 1-1 count now to the Colts right fielder, Harrison Montgomery. Honeycutt at third, pinch runner for Brady Parker, Colt catcher, that led off the inning. And now the runner goes from first, to throw back to third. He's safe there, and it's Colton Austin standing on second. So 2 runners in scoring position now for Harrison Montgomery. Brady Parker led off the inning with a single. Now ball inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Actually, that's wrong. Maybe a 2-2 count. It's actually a 3-1 count. That throw down the previous pitch, I missed that. So 3-1. Down the middle, fouled down the right side. Now that runs it full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So a pretty economical 2 innings from Gaither, 10 pitches and then 8 pitches in the second and third innings respectively. And now that pitch count running up a little bit here in this one, and that one just does miss the outside corner. And that's ball 4 to Montgomery. He's aboard, bases loaded now for third baseman Cody Naylor. Cody grounded out to the shortstop to lead off the second inning. Now has a chance to really do some damage here in the bottom half of the fourth. Swung on up the middle, pitcher snags it, runs to first, underhand toss. He's got it there in time. And Gaither gets out of a jam by playing a little defense from his position. 1 hit, no runs, 3 men left on base. We head to the 5th. It's Lake Norman 6, Carolina 3 here on TravelBallSelect.com.
Great hitters aren't born, they're made. Swing Away makes them.
Hi, I'm Bryce Harper. If you want to be a better hitter, all you have to do is swing away.
Now, all baseball players and softball players can train like the pros. Hit anywhere, anytime, inside or out. Players of all ages and skill levels can get serious and immediate results with the Swing Away.
Swing Away will make you a better hitter, period.
You're just a swing away from becoming a great hitter at swingaway.com.
Back underway here in the top of the 5th, and a fly ball to center field by Cannon Frady on the first pitch. Quick out for Lake Norman. And ball 1 inside to Zachary Ledowski. The big Ledowski, as Rob Bruno would say if he were sitting here. Swung on, laced right up the middle. And the solid hitting continues for Lake Norman, as Ledowski is aboard with a 1-out single here in the top of the 5th. That's Ledowski's second hit of the ball game. 2 for 3 now on the day in the 3 spot, right in front of Chance Carroll, the big fella, who has been caught looking and reached on an error from the shortstop. So yet to record a hit in the cleanup spot for Lake Norman, despite his team having a 6-3 lead. So if you could get Chance Carroll going, watch out. The pitch is a strike. Runner goes from first. He's in, standing up safely at second. A little risky there to go in up and make it easier for those guys to tag you, but Zachary Ledowski gets it done. So the big right fielder now in scoring position. 1 down here in the 5th. Chance Carroll at the plate. Slings one to left center field. That's going to get down. Ledowski at third. He's going to be waved around, and he's going to make it easily as Carroll, big fella, doesn't quite have the wheels to make it. The second easily tagged out there in the rundown, but the run scores. So an RBI single for Carroll. And then we'll give him a 8-4 putout. But Lake Norman now extends their lead 7-3. 2 outs now for Joseph Gaither, the Lake Norman pitcher. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Gaither has been doing a very good job of keeping his pitch count low, but through 30 pitches in that last inning, he dribbles this one to first. And the second baseman there to cover. So a 3-4 put out. You don't write that down in the book very often. And that retires the side for Lake Norman, but not before. 2 hits can score 1 run, and now Lake Norman has a 7-3 lead. We head to the bottom of the 5th. The Carolina Colts hoping to answer here on TravelBallSelect.com. Back underway, ball 1, way outside to Garrett Manor. Manor, ground out victim to short in the second inning. That also wide for ball 2. And ball 3 is wide. So Manor looking for an opportunity here to maybe walk on 4 straight pitches. And he does. Ball 4, leadoff man is aboard for the Colts here in the 5th. They trail 7-3. Gaither on the mound through 30 pitches last inning. Like to see him get these next 3 in order. Keep that pitch count low. He's now up above 70. Ball, first pitch fouled back for strike 1. Andrew Long at the plate, big left fielder. Grounded out to second base in the second inning. And now ball 1 wide. Gaither comes set, delivers to the plate, ball popped in the air. Right side of the infield, second baseman camps underneath it. He's got it. Now Dalton Havner, 0-0 at the plate. Hit by pitch in his first at bat, and then retired on a pickoff play. Did not get back in time at third base, thrown out by the catcher. Watch a strike 1 go through there. Swung on, fouled back, strike 2. So Havner quickly in an 0-2 count. 0-2 count now for Havner. Manor over at first, swung on, foul tip, and that catches the catcher in the knee, and that's when he holds his hand up to the dugout, says, "I'm okay." It's one of those, he was standing up to catch it. When it caught the bat, it changed the trajectory, and it looked like it caught him right above the knee on the inside of the thigh. which is just about the same feeling as when you get a Charlie horse on the outside of the leg. It is not fun. My buddies and I used to call it getting lumped, when you get hit real hard in one spot and your skin rises up really quick. That's what happens when you get lumped by a baseball. It's the worst feeling for about 2 minutes, and then once that swelling goes down, you're okay. But Matthew White's pretty tough back there behind the dish, as most catchers are. I'm sure Rob Bruno would be raving about his toughness right now if he were here. Swing and a miss by Havner. 0-2 count remains. Yeah, Havner actually struck out swinging there, excuse me. Now Avery Harrington at the plate. Swings, one hopper to second. Decides to take the safe force out at first. We'll end the inning. 4-3 put out. Leadoff walk, no harm done there. 1-2-3 after that. So Gaither does his job and sets down Carolina in quick fashion in the 5th. We head to the 6th. It's Lake Norman 7, Carolina 3 on TravelBallSelect.com. And here we go, starting the 6th inning. Lake Norman at the plate, and quickly a chopper up the middle. Backhanded, gets away from the second baseman. He cannot get there in time. And Carson Arnold starts off the 6th inning with a hustle single to second. And that'll bring up the very dangerous Jacob DaCosta. DaCosta doubled and scored in the 2nd. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th, and then went on to score as well. So only Zachary Ledowski, the only other Lake Norman player to have scored twice in this game. And now DaCosta bats with a runner on first, nobody out. And he's going to bunt one down the third base line. Great bunt, well placed. Pitcher covers, he gets it in time to first. Great play. And the umpire is going to get them both. Carson Arnold advanced to second, but then gets too far off the bag. So he's out. So a 1-3 put out at first, and then a 3-6 put out. Doubles up Lake Norman. What looked like a very promising start to the inning suddenly is now down to Matthew White with 2 outs. And Matthew, 0 for 2 today. It's actually 1 for 2 at the plate with a single in his last at bat. Ground out to second in the 2nd inning, and then in the 4th had that single, but then he was put out trying to get home on a double steal, and a foul ball rattles around and comes back into play a little bit. A 0-1 count to Matthew White. Ducks out of the way of that one. That was headed right for his shoulder. You certainly don't want to get hit with a pitch on a day like today. All four taking one for the team, but that one will stay with you for a while. You can understand these young men jumping out of the way as fast as they can. Stayed in there a little bit more on that one, but it was still high and in his eyes. Two-one pitch, 3-1 now. Now White steps in, 3-1 pitch on the way. Bounces in there for ball 4. So White's aboard. Now Dylan Seaman, 0 for 2 today, 2 ground outs. Excuse me, he's 1 for 2 with a put out at second on a fielder's choice in the 4th. Cody Kidd going to be taken out of the ball game now. Pitch count right around 70. He's going to head to second base, and that's going to bring second baseman Garrett Manor to the bump. And he's going to get a few to warm up. First one not exactly on the mark, but he'll settle in here in just a moment. So 67 pitches on the day for Cody Kidd. And now number 20. In the ball game for the Carolina Colts, who trail 7-3. Now in the top half of the 6th inning. I can't imagine we'd see much more action after this inning. So this should be it. So you'd hope Manor can hold things where they are, and then the Colts can have a big bottom half of the inning and try to challenge Lake Norman for this victory. Very cool afternoon here in Rock Hill, South Carolina, in southern Metro Charlotte. And now Dylan Seaman set to step in. And take on Mr. Manor. Runner goes, ball fouled back, out of play. So White will retreat back to first base. And an 0-1 count on Seaman. Top of the order waiting on deck if Seaman can reach base. Pick off, attempt the first. White back in time. Swung on, fouled, chops down the third base line. 0-2 count now to the Lake Norman second baseman. Count. Manor from the stretch. Swung on, bounced over to second, right through the wicket of Cody Kidd, who's just been put in over there. Probably still has his head a little bit in the clouds after being taken out of the game. That's always difficult for a pitcher to be relieved of that duty and then put into the field. And E4 allows Seaman to reach, and Matthew White now standing on second, and Brian Blanton at the plate. Blanton has reached once on a fielder's choice and popped up 2 other times. Watch a strike one come right down the middle. Blanton with a close stance at the plate. Pickoff attempt back at second, thrown into center field. And Matthew White going to scurry to third, throws there, but it's off the mark. Now the throw to second, that not in time, so both runners advance on an errant pickoff attempt by Manor. So White at third, Seaman at second. Blanton at the plate with a chance to really put this thing out of reach. And it's hit the third baseman. He can't come up with it cleanly. Runner touches the plate. No throw to first. And that's exactly what Lake Norman wanted. Carolina can't hit a five-run home run. And that's the deficit at the moment. It's 8-3 as Matthew White scores. Seaman stays at second. And Blanton reaches on an E5. First pitch to Cannon Frady, high ball one. And now Manor toes the rubber once again. Both runners take their leads off of first and second. This one over the head of Frady, ball two. Manor's doing his job. He's inducing ground balls. His infielders are not helping him out. He's faced two batters now, and two errors have let both of those men reach base and let a run score. And now ball three's a little high. So Manor's job to hold everything in place in jeopardy here as he's one pitch away from loading the bases without giving up a hit. That's exactly what he does as he walks Frady on four. And now Zachary Ledowski, who's 2 for 3 today. The big right fielder steps in. Coach is telling the outfielders, you might want to back up a little bit. This kid's got a little bit of power. Lime green and black bat. He's holding up and in, ball one. And suddenly Manor can't find the strike zone. Seaman at third, Blanton at second, and Frady at first. Ground ball up the middle. Should be an easy play. Shortstop gets it, steps on the bag. And that retires Ledowski, 6 unassisted. And that's the end of the top half of the 6th, but not before Lake Norman can get a very big run to give them now a 8-3 5-run lead as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. You're watching TravelBallSelect.com.
Years before he was Sports Illustrated's chosen one, TravelBallSelect.com had already chosen 11-year-old Bryce Harper as an All-American. Go to the source for travel baseball national rankings and All-America teams, TravelBallSelect.com.
How important is confidence to success in travel baseball? 80% is the most common answer I get, and it may be even more. Baseball is hard enough the way it is, but I find that some of the biggest robbers of confidence in young players is their parents and coaches. So go to Play Big Travel Ball right now and get my free report, 3 hidden mistakes even top travel ball coaches make that crush player confidence and turn wins into losses. And I'll give you the fixes for them as well. So go get my free report at playbigtravelball.com.
Bottom half of the 6th about to get underway. Lots of changes for Lake Norman. On the mound, Chance Carroll moves from first to the mound. The pitcher, Joseph Gaither, he moves over to first base. Third baseman, Carson Arnold, he's now behind the plate catching. which means Zachary Ladowski needed to come in from right field to play third. And out in right field, still not quite sure who that is over there. That is number 1, Brian Blanton, who moved from left field to right field. And I guess that's Matthew White, who moved from the catching spot out to left field. Strike 1 goes right down the middle to Riley Honeycutt. Top of the order here for the Colts in the bottom half of the inning. They're down by 5, swing and a miss, strike 2. They need Honeycutt to get on base and provide some of that instant offense with his speed that he did so well to start the game in the bottom half of the first. The wind and the pitch. Outside, ball 1. Honeycutt singled in the first and scored. Struck out looking in the third. And now swings and misses for strike 3 here in the 6th to lead things off. So the Colts now down to their last 2 outs, down by 5. Brady Parker at the plate. Parker grounded out the second in the first inning and then led off the 4th inning with a single. And then Honeycutt came in to pinch run for him and advanced to third. Strike on the outside corner. And Honeycutt was in the end stranded on third base in the 4th. So Parker's spot in the lineup yet to play a run today in that 2-hole. High, ball 1. 1-1 count now on the Colts catcher. Carroll's 1-1 delivery on that outside corner again. Strike 2. So 1-2 count now on Parker. And Chance Carroll misses high, ball 2. So that's a pretty steady pattern now. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike. Curveball in the top half of the zone. Let's see if he goes back to that fastball here on that outer half. I'd be awake if I were on that left side of the infield. There it was. Fastball away. Got him swinging. That's 2 strikeouts for Chance Carroll. And now the Colts down to their final out. It's Leighton Burleson trying to keep his team alive here. Leighton walked in the first, struck out in the 4th. This one on the inside corner. That's a strike. Chance Carroll's come in throwing strikes, which is exactly what you want a reliever to do with a 5-run lead. No sense in fooling around, make them swing or set them down. Swing and a miss, strike 2. And now the Carolina Colts down to their final out, their final strike, possibly of the ball game. It's Colton Austin, their home run hitting first baseman, on deck. And the ball bounced in there. Again, the off-speed stuff not really locating that good for Carroll. But the fastball is no problem. So I'd stick with that. Nobody's shown they can hit it yet. Let's see if we can get one more. That's curveball high. It stays up there. 2-2 now. Chance Carroll, 2-2 delivery. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Swung on foul. Leighton Burleson trying to stay alive here. Leighton Norman trying to get out of here with a W. All right, curveball low, runs the count full. 3-2 now. And again, Carroll would just stick to the fastball. Have a lot more success at this point in the ball game. Instead, he comes over that one, tries to aim it a little bit instead of just throwing it. I was told as a pitcher, do not aim it, just throw it. Because when you aim it, you tend to hang on to it a little bit too long, trying to put it in that perfect spot. Burleson aboard with a walk. Now Colton Austin, one swing could really get some life in these Carolina Colts players. A little late on that one. Saw it, just didn't identify it quick enough, and that's strike one. So now Colton Austin homered in the first, walked in the fourth. Swings and misses at strike two here in the sixth. And once again, Carolina down to their last strike. Let's see if Carroll can learn from his mistake last at bat. Just keep going after him with the hard stuff. Certainly wouldn't throw down the deuce if I'm back there in Carson Arnold right now behind the plate. But let's see. The wind in the pitch high. Ball one. Not the worst pitch in the world to throw there. See if a guy will go after it. He's got a 5-run lead. No harm can be done with just about anything you do right here with Austin. And that one wide, ball two. He could hit a 2-run home run right here, and you're still ahead by 3. And again, don't see too many guys down that lineup. It'll scare you too much. I'd go right after him. Swing and a miss. The ball's loose. He's going to have to throw him out at first, but he does, and that'll do it. And that's the ball game. So a strikeout of the side for Chance Carroll wins the ball game 8-3 for Lake Norman. Our fourth and final game is coming up after a short break. We'll be right back on TravelBallSelect.com.